All right, and we are back at the amazing FM 102.5, and we have a pop-up show today for you from NAMI Greater Houston, and we're talking about Black men and better mental health. As we wrap up the month of June for Men's Mental Health Month and awareness, we want to end this show talking about the family. We need to turn the focus back on us, fam. We need to talk about how we embrace our men when, let's say, they've had depression, anxiety, substance use disorder, or any type of dual diagnosis issue. And let's say they've messed up. I don't, whether they've gone to jail, they've gone to prison, or let's say it's not been criminal justice, but the bills didn't get paid. Maybe you've lost your third apartment. You're moving for the fifth time. I don't know. The car has been repossessed, but our men sometimes fall from the throne of grace. And what can we do, family, to call for more integration for our men when things have gone wrong and it's now time to rebuild? Do we throw the baby out with the bathwater, or do we take those necessary steps to achieve better mental health for him and the whole family? So I'm gonna throw it to you, Keith, because you were saying in the last segment that you work with some of the reentry folks, that you've talked to people who have been somehow entangled with criminal justice. What is the story for our Black men coming from prison or coming out of jail?
Well, you already have trouble getting a job.
Yes.
Being a Black man. So when you come back, it seems that the world is against you. And you hope that you haven't burned all the bridges, especially if you have a substance abuse disorder, that you haven't burned all the bridges of everyone who loved you and supported you and tried to help you along the way. And you have to come back and you have to rebuild those support systems. And that's so important. I see a lot of people who've been out 5-10 years taking this reentry class, and it's like, I just can't get back where I need to be. And it's because they've burned those bridges. And they're needing a support system, and unfortunately, it's difficult.
And what can our family members do? What can we do? Because we want to have good boundaries, right? But we also don't want to see the destruction of the Black family,
right.
So how do we keep our families together from the perspective of the caregiver or the support system? I hear you saying it's hard for the person coming back, but what can the families do to help build those bridges?
Well,
or rebuild?
For me, I think it would be cautious optimism.
Okay, I like that.
You bring them back, and they have to prove themselves worthy in a way. And if they do, then you give them a little more and a little more. But they need the support. And when you see something wrong, don't sugarcoat it. Don't make it. Don't enable it. Right. Don't fall back into the old pattern. You need somebody to be tough and say, hey, you need help, and I see you need help in these areas. I think you need to go get some help.
But it also sounds like our families need more. And you brought this up earlier. The very first thing you said when we opened up the show is that we need education. Yeah. We need education. It could happen in our schools, but if it doesn't, there is free education. I think it's coupled with the change in mindset, right? If we can see the mental illness or the substance use disorder or addiction, if we can see it as a mental health and emotional problem, then we can see it as something that can be treated, right? There is no other illness. Mental illness has a 91% success rate of recovery if the right intervention is found. Yeah. There is no other medical condition with that high return of intervention for recovery. It's just we don't know what to do. We don't know where to go. So again, NAMI provides free, FREE, psychoeducation. There are manuals and stuff on the shelf. That education doesn't do any good on the shelf. It has to go in the hands of the family members. Yeah. So I think what I hear you saying then is get educated, right? But I don't think we reach for education until we change our mindset that person can achieve recovery, and we can be the force to help them do that. I think, now I'm going to say this because I'm a family member, okay, guys? I think first you got to forgive them. That's a big piece.
Yeah.
And that's like stepping over the Grand Canyon. When that person has left you with all them bills and that house note and that car note and them children crying and oh my God, and the embarrassment of it all, you have to forgive that person first and then get educated. But I want to hear from you, Effie. What can we do as a family to integrate people who come out of the hospitals back into the family?
So first, as you said, forgive. Hold them to some type of accountability, but also create that environment so that when they get home, you can grab them by the hand and say, hey, I'm here with you. Let's do this together. And just don't push them out and say, hey, do this by yourself. You need to do this. It's all about your tone and the way you deliver it. You take them by the hand, get their needed resources, and you can help guide them along, their journey.
I run support groups for NAMI. We have free support groups in the community, and I hear people in the family support group, because we have family support groups and then connection recovery groups for the person who needs the recovery path. And I listen to families say, well, I don't have a problem. Johnny got the problem. I'm fine. If you can fix Johnny, then I'd be okay. So what do you say about when the family feels like they don't, because the way we feel at NAMI is when one person is impacted by any health issue, but especially mental health, it impacts the whole family is impacted by that diagnosis. What do you say?
Family is the same thing as a team. One person messes up, we all mess up.
There we go.
It's not just you. So, you got to keep in mind that, just because, we have this fixation that if we can't see it, it's not real.
Oh.
Mental health, you can't see it.
Effie, if you can't, did y'all get that? There's this adage, if you can't see it, it's not real. And that's not true.
That's not true. So you can't be that family member that says, hey, I don't get why he's so depressed. It's never that bad. Well, it is that bad. And so, we have to make sure we support them and make sure, we don't leave them on that island alone by themselves.
All right. Okay, so we talked about education. We talked about forgiveness. And you're talking about, listen, it's a team. You got to grab them by the hand and walk them out. Temple Grandin, she is a millionaire that overcame or continues to overcome a serious diagnosis of autism. And she wrote a book called Thinking in Pictures. And at the end of the book, after the book is finished, there's a paragraph that she added to the end of the book. And that paragraph states that if you meet a person with autism, but I'm going to jump on Effie's bandwagon. If you meet a person with a difficult to deal with addiction, substance use, or mental health disorder, all right? Because autism is a brain disorder. But if you meet a person with one of these disorders, she said, you walk into their world, you grab them by the hand, and that's what you said.
Yeah.
You grab them by the hand and you lead them out. That is the only way we're going to make it, fam. When we identify our Black men, our Black boys that may have a issue with mental health, emotional health, or addiction or substance use disorder, and you see it, you know it, then it's our job, family, to go into their world and grab them by the hand. They may not be ready. You may have to stand by until they're ready to be, for their hand to be held. But at some point, this world is going to make it to where they want somebody to grab them by the hand. And if you're ready and you're educated, you have the tools, you know where to call, you know Sun Behavioral Health. Yeah. So let's end on that note. Sun Behavioral, Effie, tell our audience how to get in touch with you.
So you can call me directly at 832-216-9466. That's my job, to get everyone help. We're open 24 hours, 365. So if you ever need help, just reach out to me.
Are you there 24 hours?
Almost.
Oh, okay. But we can call you, leave a message, and you get back with us. And that's Sun Behavioral Health, and you are supporting from 66 to 18 to 100.
Well, 6 to 18 to...
Oh, I said 60. Yeah,
to 6. Yeah,
all right.
6. Yeah.
All the way down to 6. And Keith Hudson with Harmony Road Recovery Services. How do we get in touch with you?
Okay, you can call me at 832-989-0772 and leave a message. And I'll get back with you. If you have somebody that needs recovery and needs housing, give me a call.
All right. Well, listen, we want to thank Effie and Keith for coming out today. And family, we want you to know that there are people out here. There's more with you than there are against you. And there are people out here that care. And we're going to bring you more resources in our next show. So I see you on the amazing FM 102.5 on the first and third Thursdays at 11 a.m. We'll be here with you live. So if you want to contact me at NAMI Greater Houston, you can reach out to 713-970-4489 or NAMIGH, that's NAMIGH, at NAMIGreaterHouston.org. Thank you until next time, and we love you. Peace, soul, and happiness.